I've been working on my culinary skills, I beg. Then all this commotion just got me stuck. I was feeling thirsty, so I grabbed a bev. Then burnt the food, now the shit is yuck. But every single thing that went down today, I gotta admit, it truly sucked. I just made some cheese and Makhachev, but that don't mean I'm gonna duck. Yeah, baby, yeah. I made some cheese and Makhachev. I'm a chef. Makhachev, duck. Yo, and I'm not saying he's ducking, but... Dude, I can't lie. Guys, like one thing about me, like you guys are going to know this who've been following me for a long time. I am not fond of like when I feel as if fighters are ducking. Now, I'm not saying Islam's duck. I'm going to explain how I feel about the situation. I'm going to break the whole thing down because it's a lot of things to look at from both point of views. And I'm going to get into Ali's stupid tweet. Dude, I hate when Ali tweets on Islam's account. Let me not, I'll save that for later in the video. But as we know, we are having Ilia versus Justin Gaethje for the White House main event. And what we know for sure, based on Justin Gaethje's words, that wasn't even a thing until Friday of last week.
2 days ago, I got a call and they said, you're definitely not fighting on the White House card. So I was like,
Wow, really?
cool.
Okay.
And then yesterday I got a call and they said, you might hear something. You might be on the White House card. And I was like, how are you going to go complete 180 turn on me? And then today I found out that I was on it. I didn't know if I was main event.
Really?
And you guys got to realize this. They've been talking about they had the White House thing figured out. They said that out like what, Monday last week? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they had an idea. But I really feel like that thing they had figured out was actually Islam versus Ilia. Now, I could say that. I can't say it for sure, but it is look like that was where the situation was headed. We can believe that because I remember somebody saying this guy was Spanish. He was a Spanish media guy. He said that they didn't actually want to book Justin Gaethje versus Ilia because they thought it was going to be easy pickings from Ilia and they didn't think it was going to be a great look. So you could see that they wanted to put on a more competitive fight. Now we do know Thursday that Islam and Ilia were in the talks. We don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but we know they're in the talks. And the fact that we knew that Ilia versus Gaethje wasn't like even a thing until Friday of last week, we know there was a fight that was there beforehand. I am saying I believe that fight was Islam and Ilia. And you could disagree with me. A lot of the hardcore Islam, you guys can't, the thing is, I think I'm one of the biggest Islam fans of all time. Like, and you guys who follow me know this, but like I am very objective when I look at situations like this. And I got to be real in this situation. It does look like this fight was booked and then it fell apart. Because of injury is what it seems like. And I'm not doubting Islam's injured. I will not doubt that. I can't doubt that, but there are people who are like in the Islam fan base who are like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't think it was ever signed or it was never a thing. I think it definitely was a thing. So I feel like if you're denying that, it's almost like you're just playing a weird game. And I'm like, all right, come on, don't do that. Like, I do believe it was a thing. And you can't even deny that Islam didn't want to be in the White House, guys, because every single interview I've seen from Islam, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, you could fact check me on this. I am 99.999%, I'm 100% sure.
If somebody wants, let's do it. I tell them I will be ready soon. If White House, of course, I want to be in White House because there may be one and only we will make the fighting in White House. I want to be in history.
I could point to multiple interviews where Islam's like, I want to fight in the White House. Even when Habib was like, he doesn't want them fighting in the White House, Islam was always saying, of course, but I would love to fight in the White House. Anybody. And Islam was more than happy to fight in the White House. So was Ilia. So that's what I got from that. So like people saying Islam never wants to fight in the White House, you're not telling the truth. And don't lie because you're making us look bad. You're making the whole like Islam fan base look bad when you lie and say Islam never wants to be in the White House. He wanted to be in the White House more than any other fighter in the UFC, in my opinion. I'll rest my case there. As for this situation, I'm just going to read to you what Ilia Topuria said. He said a lot, I wish I could read this in Ilia's voice, and I suck at reading. Pre-firing, you guys saying L reader. Once again, Islam comes up with an excuse. This time, it's an injury. I always knew I would be a part of the White House main event. Even when the UFC told me at one point they wouldn't count on me for the main event, I knew I was going to be a part of the negotiation. When they finally told me that I would be in the White House card, they mentioned Islam, and I didn't hesitate for a second to accept the fight. I believe him about this. I do believe it was mentioned. I actually don't think, guys, you guys got to realize Ilia is not scared of this fight because Ilia really has nothing to lose. What does Ilia have to lose? If he's going to fight Islam at a higher weight class, he has a potential to be, 3 division champ. And like, he's going against a bigger guy. Ilia is not fearful of this fight. So people are trying to say Ilia would be scared. I don't think Ilia would be scared of this fight. I think since he has almost nothing to lose, he would accept it in a heartbeat. I'll continue reading. Even though the fight hadn't been officially confirmed yet, the White House card was going to be announced the next day. And when I woke up, I found out that Islam has gotten injured. And then Justin Gaethje appeared. Once again, someone else who will pay for Islam's escape. Both of their manager is a bitch and also ugly as hell. Hey, Ali catching it straight. Ali is a little bit ugly, but it's okay. He's ugly. It's okay. If you're ugly, you're ugly. Justin, see you at the White House. I'm not someone who humiliates people. It will be quick. When you wake up, everything will be over. I'm not gonna lie. One thing about Ilia, I believe when he says threats like that. When he was talking to Charles, is like, I'm sorry it had to be you. I remember my heart like dropping like into my stomach. I'm like, yo, Charles, it's gonna be you. And now when he's saying that Justin, I'm like, dude, Justin, maybe you should get injured too, Now, let me just say this. He's in this pretty much Ilia saying that Islam got injured. He's hinting that he feels like the injured is a little bit manufactured, but he's also kind of saying that it could be a reality. So he's not like fully, but he is saying he's ducking. He is saying, and once again, someone else is going to pay for Islam's escape. And it's going to be Justin Gaethje. And now, Islam has never ducked him prior. Like, Islam going up to become double champ isn't him ducking. That actually pissed me off when people try to run with that with that agenda. Now, people running with the agenda saying Islam's ducking for this case scenario, I could see why people are saying it. And I did make a tweet, and people are a little bit upset about this already. Like, I did say it's a little bit hard to defend this because, like I said, guys, if Islam wasn't pushing for the White House, Islam's been healthy this whole time. Like, he's been pushing for the White House. Like, White House is in the summer, guys. Like, Islam, I don't know the injury he has right now, but it has to be an injury that's putting him out. Like, Islam's not going to fight to the end of the year. That's what this is telling me, which is a little bit. So, like, I'm like sad this fight's not going to happen. And I'm also sad, like, Islam's not going to fight much this year. Like, he's going to fight once and it's going to be really late in the year. So, I guess that's the upsetting part about this. Because, like, if an injury is going to put Islam so he can't fight in the White House, I know he's not going to be in the summer. So he's going to be there with the fourth quarter of the year, something like that. I don't know how serious his injury is. If it's still that hand or whatever, then that's problematic. Now, Islam, well, let me not say Islam because that's going to get me mad. Ali responded to this tweet. And this tweet that he responded, like, what gets me mad about this tweet's response is just that, like, it's Ali just defending his insecurities and not really addressing the situation. Now, you can see my comment here. I'm like laughing at him. I'm like, bro, I just hate when Ali tweets for Islam because it's so blatantly obvious. Like, Islam does not speak like this. Keep in mind, this is how he's speaking. He said this: "We both know who chicken out here. You could cover your cowardness with nasty tweets, but do not worry. One day you will get what you asked for. And your fat ass manager don't have to ask for billions to fight me. We'll do it for free." So I know this is Ali's because he was so mad that Ilia called him ugly. He was so angry that Ilia called him ugly. So he was like, let me fire back at his manager. You're a fat ass manager. Islam would never say fat ass. Islam would be like, you fat guy, you fat manager. You and your fat manager. Like, the fat ass part is like, okay, nice, dude. Like, and just like the way he's talking, like, oh, your cowardness with your nasty tweets. Shut up, Ali. Ali, shut up. And what gets me more mad about this is that not Islam. Let me get Islam out of my fucking head right now. Ali, he said that this fight fell apart because Ilia asked for too much money. He didn't even mention an Islam injury. Which is weird. Because if Islam was injured, I'm sure it would be mentioned in this tweet, right? Unless I'm tripping. But if Islam was injured, I'm sure it'd be mentioned in this tweet. But I wonder why first of all, I wonder why it was Ali who went on this account and tweeted out of emotion. This tweet can't get deleted now because it has nearly 1 million views. That's my problem. But it's just making it seem like Ilia was asking for an absurd amount of money, but the reason why, and that could be true. To be fair, that could be true. He was asking for an absurd amount to fight Islam. But he's fighting Justin Gaethje on the same card. Like, it's not like Ilia pulled out. I feel like if Ilia was the one who just didn't show up because the UFC wasn't paying him what he wanted, the UFC is probably gonna pay him like not much difference in the Justin Gaethje fight. So he's showing up to fight. So it's showing me that the money can't be that important, unless the narrative they're trying to point is that they're asking for too much because it's gonna be Islam. So like, okay, yeah, for Justin Gaethje, sure, I'll fight him 10 million, but for Islam, I want 50 million. If it's one of those things, sure. Like Ilia doesn't strike. I could be completely wrong here, but Ilia does not strike me as someone who needs money. Like I don't think Ilia is, but maybe the divorce though. Maybe he does need money, but if he needed money that bad and the problem was he's not going to fight Islam unless he gets paid enough, I just don't think he'd fight on the White House card, period, because he's like, they're not paying me my worth. Listen, guys, there's like 5-6 fights on that card. Everyone on that card's getting paid more than they ever have in their life. Not that much people on this card, So it's not like the UFC could be pretty generous with the amount they're paying these fighters. So if the narrative that Ali was trying to push in this tweet is that he was the coward and he chickened out because of the funds, I just guess as a huge Islam fan as well, I happen to have a slightly harder time believing that. And trust me, I want to believe that Ilia just needs money desperately and he wasn't going to fight without money. But it makes it look weird because Ilia's off the card. Now, is Islam injured? I don't know. Can somebody tell me? I don't know if Islam's injured. But how am I supposed to know? Because apparently I've heard rumors saying Islam's injured. I heard Ilia say Islam's injured. But I guess Islam shouldn't say if he's in. Well, maybe you should, because like it makes it look bad, because now it makes it look like I wasn't injured, you just cowered out. That's literally what that's what I got from this tweet. Like, let me know if I'm the only one who got this from this tweet. What I got from this tweet is like, yeah, I didn't bro, you're the one who chickened out. We both know. And he's doing this stupid winky face. Like, Islam is not doing all this. Dude, I'm giving Ali 24 hours to log out that account permanently. I'm so mad, because Ali actively makes us look worse. I'm saying us like that, like the people who jack Islam pause, the people who are like behind us, brother. It makes us look like just weird. Like it puts everyone in a weird way, like a weird scenario. Because now the Islam fans are gonna just run with, oh, he's not even injured. The guy just cowered out. Like Ilia just cowered out. And I'm too objective to like just follow shit like that. I'm too objective, and I do think that's my demise, which is why some people, they get mad at me when I say things like this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comments who are upset about me. But it's not like I'm saying Islam's ducking. But I feel like the better narrative to run with is actually Islam's injured. And not that Islam the fight fell apart because Ilia asked for too much money. Because if we try to run with that narrative, guys, I'm telling you, the Islam fans, we try that shit, you guys know they're going to be like, okay, so why is Ilia fight on the card? But then we could be like, oh, well, because he settled for less against Justin. Sure, but it's like, dude, I need confirmation Islam's injured so I could sleep well tonight. I never wanted someone to be injured so bad, because it would make the most sense. Like, it's just a bad look. And what makes this a little bit more frustrating is like, we know that Islam wanted to fight on the White House more than anything. Like, if Islam was like kind of like Habib, and was like, I don't want you to, like, Habib was like, I don't want you to fight in the White House. If Islam was like, I don't really care to fight in the White House. But every single time I seen it, Islam's like, why not? Why not? And Islam's not scared of fighting Ilia. Islam would fight Ilia in a heartbeat. And he'll beat him. He'll beat him at 170. I know he would. I'm not saying he's a duck, dude. You can't, because a duck doesn't necessarily mean you're scared, but it means like something like, okay, when you're a duck, let me just start to break this down for the analytical standpoint of the Newton's law. When you're a duck, it means you're avoiding a fight for whatever situation. It doesn't always mean you're scared. Now, I've called Marab a duck against Umar. He ended up accepting that fight, but I still think he was ducking. I'm going to die on that hill he was ducking. I called Pereira a duck against Ankalaev because he took so long to fight him. He finally fought him. He lost. I've called many people a duck, dude. I'm not afraid to call out when I think someone's ducking. I've done it multiple times. Now, is this me calling out Islam? It's me questioning why the fight didn't happen and why did we get such a last second fight with Gaethje. And I just don't care. Like, we know what's gonna happen to Ilia versus Gaethje, and I'm not saying I think Islam beats Ilia, but there's so much backing there. As someone, I like getting the best. Like, I love how I have the best main event record. But I love that if Islam and Ilia were to fight, it'd be so mixed. So when I get the Islam pick right, everyone's like, oh shit, dude, oh shit, all right. Like Kenny just cooked again. And it's just frustrating because now we kind of got robbed out of a White House card that could have been actually good. Yo, if Islam versus Ilia was on that card, you guys realize it doesn't matter what that card looked like, which is why I also think it was supposed to be there. Because look at the rest of the card. Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. Fucking dude, Bo Nico, Kyle Dawkins. We wouldn't give a shit about any of that, guys, if it was Islam Ilia. And we know that. Like, we know that if it was Islam Ilia, you guys could put fucking, I don't know, fucking anybody. You could put 4 WMMA fights. We won't give a shit. We won't care. And we won't care. Because we're like, oh my God, once that main event and the Pereira fight happens, holy shit, we don't care. So that's why I do believe that this could have been a little bit of a situation where something happened. I don't know if Islam actually is injured. I don't know if Ilia actually said, I don't want to fight on the White. He didn't say I don't want to fight in the White House card, but I don't know if Ilia said I don't want to fight Islam unless it's for this much. But what I could say for sure is that if Islam is not injured, it's a tough look, and I think running with their narrative that he ducked is not even a stupid narrative. Am I going to be running around, with a flag that says Islam ducked him? No. But if Islam's healthy, if Islam gets booked for a fight like very close to the White House card, it's going to be a little bit it's just going to be tough to defend. Not upsetting and tough to defend. Upsetting and tough to defend. So that's a double whammy. But listen, this is just me really trying to come into terms of what's really happening. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation down below. I do think it's an unfortunate situation. I wish if Ilia wasn't fighting on the card still, I feel like it would be easier to defend Islam's points. But I just think Ali should get off Islam's account. Like, Ali really just made this tweet just to call his manager fat or whatever, because he's salty that he was called ugly, and he's ugly as hell. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's it for me. I'll go to bless. 2, 3, 4.